All right, got a couple stories for you about the Texans, and one was an article that was written and just kind of talked about the biggest underrated signing when asked of a media reporter, what was the biggest underrated signing in NFL free agency? And the Texans were named. All right, so we're going to talk about that. Also, just some work that we have to talk about with the ownership group and kind of what that means for the stability and the future of the franchise. And I'll kind of give my two thoughts on that and what that looks like as well. But before I do that, if you have yet to subscribe to this channel, maybe you've seen us a couple times, please hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, wait till the end of the video. Make a decision. See if you like what we're doing. But here's what we're about. This is not our first channel. We have another channel called Sports Talk Detroit. You see Barry Sanders in the middle there. You see the Hutch jersey. All right. But at the same time, I don't need you to worry. We got, oh man, it's hard to do this. We got the Texans helmet here. All right. We got the Nico Collins signed jersey. All right. Because I'm a Michigan fan. But here's the deal. We love teams that the NFL seems to ignore. And we've honed in on a couple of teams on this channel, so you won't see any Cowboys stuff going on here, but we would appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe, all right? So without further ado, all right, the Texans' Danielle Autry has been dubbed as an underrated signing. Yes, it's that time of year where this is what we're talking about. We'll continue to talk about draft stuff, don't get me wrong. Houston Texans were super busy in free agency this year. I mean, super busy. And Dan Pizzuta of the 33rd team tabbed Autry as one of the most underrated signings this year. His deals were 2 years, $20 million with $10 million guaranteed. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you why later in this video. That's not actually a 2-year deal. Because I think a lot of people are really worried about Autry being 34 years old. Now, he has had his 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 most productive seasons of his NFL career over the last 3 years. He has been a model of consistency over the last 7 years. But the last 3 years, he has been really, really good. And the numbers kind of back that up if I go into this. If you look at PFF, he has his best PFF grade ever in 2022. That's why I'm looking down. But also when you just look at the sack production, if you go back to the beginning of the year, his beginning of his career, he spent his first 4 years in Vegas, which at the time wasn't Vegas. He spent the next 3 years with the Colts and then 3 years with the Titans. So here's what happened. Here's his sack totals starting in year 2014. 0, 3, 3, 6, 9, 4, 9. Then in 2021, he goes to the Titans. He has 11 sacks. 2022, he has 8. Last year, 12. Okay, so you get Danielle Hunter. Everybody knows that that's good. Everybody's excited about that. You already have Will Anderson Jr. Now you bring in this guy who can just as effectively rush from the inside as the outside. In fact, probably more effectively from the inside, but he's 34 years old. Yeah, but his age 31, 32, and 33 season, he had more sacks than all of his years combined before that, I think. And so it's like one of those things where you've got to realize like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. This makes a lot of sense. But also you look at this contract. It's a 2-year deal worth $20 million. All right? But they have a potential out of the contract after this season, essentially making that bad boy a 1-year deal for $11 million. In that scenario, Houston would leave $3 million in dead cap in 2025. So either you pay him the $9 million, right? Or, and I can look this up for myself, right? But it's one of those things where I'm like, all right, that's just the way it's going to be. All right. That's just not bad. If you can have the out, that's a very, very good thing. So we can look at it for ourselves. All right. The cap hit this year is $8 million. All right. He's got a $3 million signing bonus that kind of gets prorated throughout. Next year is a similar, if you're going to keep him next year, it's going to cost $12 million against the cap. That's his age 35 season. If you let him go, it's just $3 million, because this $8 million, all of that comes off his guaranteed $11 million. That's the way it works. And that is why this is such a good signing, because what do? You have three guys, and I'm telling you, Will Anderson Jr. is just going to get better, that are prolific rushers of the quarterback. Prolific. You can't double team all three of them. You just can't. So who are you going to leave? Pick your poison. And I think oftentimes the poison that teams are going to pick is Danielle Autry, or at least they'll try to, but he's shown that he is more than athletic enough to run stunts, do different things. When you get him one-on-one with a guard, that guard is in some serious trouble. He's been a professional athlete. He is a guy that when he is in the right defensive system has thrived. Houston will be the correct system for him. The only question you have is, will his body hold up to be good this year? If it does, just a home run of a signing. Absolute home run of a signing. So I told you I was going to talk about some future stuff. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to talk that Cal McNair, the guy who has been running the organization, that has been running the franchise, has now been approved as the principal owner at the NFL meetings. All right. So he said, "I'm honored to lead this franchise. This move ensures the long-term stability of our franchise." All right. Janice McNair, who is 87, became the principal owner after her husband, Bob. The Texans' former owner died in 2018. He has owned the team since it originated in 2002. All right. After Bob's death, his son Cal operated the Texans' daily procedures and represented the team at owners' meetings instead of Janice, and the Texans have gone 31, 51, and 1 since that time. All right. That I think is kind of interesting. But when you talk about the long-term stability, he loved to say this ensures long-term stability of our franchise. I can tell you what the long-term stability of the franchise is. It's CJ Stroud. Okay. That is long-term stability of the franchise. The long-term stability of the franchise is Nick Caserio. The long-term stability of the franchise is D'Amico Ryans. The long-term stability of the franchise is, Will Anderson Jr. It is. It is those guys. And if Cal McNair has all of those guys happy, if he understands what he has in D'Amico Ryans, if he understands what he has in Nick Caserio, if they understand what they have in an offensive coordinator, which apparently they do because he decided to stay when head coaching things were probably coming at him, and that's Bobby Slowick that I'm talking about. If Cal McNair understands that and realizes that they need to stay happy and allow them to do their jobs, then you are going to have a wonderful decade as a franchise. Just a wonderful decade, if not longer. And so very excited to see what could be next for this team and just a little more stability in the ownership level. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're pushing for 15K, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.